Shortcuts help people get more done faster every day. In macOS Tahoe, you can run them automatically.
Like many of you, I sat down and watched WWDC, which is the Apple's developer conference for those who don't know. And it didn't really impress me. Largely, some of the glass designs were very controversial, and some of the other updates, apart from hold assist, was a little bit boring. The only thing that my 5-year-old watching in the background was interested in was the raccoon, and that was probably the most compelling part for him. But for me, there was something that interested me, and it was called shortcuts. So today I want to dive into what happened at WWDC with shortcuts. So before we begin, if you want 3 new apps sent to your inbox every 2 weeks, then subscribe below to the newsletter. I pick 3 apps, share them with you that I think are pretty cool in the productivity and workspace space right now. You can also visit toolfinder.co to search for tools that you may be looking for, new ones and really good quality ones. So Shortcuts has long been an app on iOS and on Mac, and the Mac version is apparently getting a lot better. Well, this new version, what it does is it includes something called intelligent actions. Now it works with a language model based on Apple Intelligence and essentially can now do things for you in the background. So on your Mac, you'll be able to open the Shortcuts app and choose from a wide range of templates. Now this could be absolutely anything. The most complex example they have, it took your Apple Notes and essentially allowed transcription from the note that you had, and then used the private cloud compute model, which is their on-device secure AI system, to essentially use a prompt to produce an output. So for example, it allowed a few actions based on images and transcription, and then it was able to get the text from that. Following on from that, create some important key points from the lecture recording and summarize the missing key points into bullet points, and essentially add that response to Apple Notes. Now you're probably wondering, okay, that looks fairly confusing, and it does, but from a productivity perspective, it really interested me. Well, I think this could be a huge leap forward in the future with potential AI and Apple right now. So for example, if all of the apps on the App Store decided to develop the ability to connect with shortcuts, it would make life a lot easier with this new AI model in here. So here's a quick example. If Todoist had a shortcuts integration and your email app had a shortcuts integration, you could potentially tick something off in Todoist using Siri, for example, and then send an email automatically in the background using your existing app, all locally, all secure, and through a much more approachable automation than some of the other automations apps on the market. So essentially, I think in some way, Apple are sort of building here AI agents for you that are built through the Mac and more accessible than a lot of the other AI agents out there on the market. So apparently you can also connect with ChatGPT as well to change the model that you're using. But essentially this concept of doing things that are in the background for you could be incredibly valuable. I thought of an example straight away for something that I do every single day. So when I'm driving, I want to sometimes transcribe something and I want to be able to turn that into an article potentially. So if I was driving and obviously had it hands-free, of course, then what I could do is record the audio for that, press a shortcut, and it could potentially do a few different actions for me in the background automatically. Think of apps like Make.com, Zapier, Lindy AI. Apple could potentially have their own inbuilt version of this that is much more accessible than some of those apps built into every single device and allow developers to build within it in a deeper way than currently is offered. Whilst Apple haven't been the smartest with their AI moves in the last couple of years, I think this could be a way in for them. So aside from those updates, there was another productivity update where they introduced a raycast alternative, which is well known, called Spotlight. This update made some better changes to accessing and taking action on certain things. Now you can find raycast below if you're interested. It's independently developed compared to what Apple have, but at the same time, it's a very interesting offering for what the productivity space might need. Aside from that, there wasn't many more productivity focused updates. I will try and dive into notes and how reminders have changed, but of course, please do let me know if I missed anything, of course. Thanks so much for stopping by. Again, you can sign up to the newsletter below if you're interested, and I'll see you again in a future video. Cheerio for now.